Hi everyone. This is a short video just to give you some idea about what can happen inside companies. This is a video especially if you work inside a company, especially if you work in human resources or you're in top management. This is a video focused on your situation. If you work in a multinational situation, so your company perhaps has branches in 20 countries, 50 countries or more, it's very likely, as you know, that you have an official language of English. Now, especially if you are a non-native speaker of English, you are very aware the range of competence of your employees in English. And it ranges a lot. In fact, you can divide up the competence of all the employees into about 7 different categories. I'm not going to talk about that today, what those different categories are, but please think for yourself what happens by the native speakers. If we make the language English, we see that the people who have English as their first language, or the non-native speakers of English who have, through very hard work, achieved high competence in English, we see that they dominate the conversation. So many conversations are multinational, indeed global, and they cover the entire company. And if we don't think about this problem, we find that many people don't contribute, or they leave the big discussion, which can be by email, it can be conference calls, it can be other kinds of communication, and we see they leave the discussion and it becomes an English discussion and a Russian discussion, or English Chinese, or English Spanish, or French, or different language groups. So the old solution has been, let's train everybody to reach the same level of competence in English. This is a false assumption. It will never work. The idea is that someday most people in the company have the same high level of competence in English. It won't happen. It won't happen. The people with far more competence will always respond faster in a discussion, and that's a quick way, easy way to dominate. When one person speaks and the next person speaks, the native speaker or the elite non-native speaker will speak faster. Same with documents. If the document is a little bit too complicated, too long, the many non-native speakers of English, most, will look at it and say, I don't have time, I don't have the concentration, I will look at it for a very short time and ignore it. And then the writer of the email or the document is surprised when not everybody has understood what needs to be understood. So again, the old solution, everybody trains up to reach native level competence in English. This won't happen. Think for yourself. It does not happen in a second language for very few people. So, what's the solution? We need one shared language within the company. What are we going to do? What if there are many Arabic speakers, or Chinese, as I say, and they can't join the conversation? There is a solution, a fast solution, that doesn't get talked about. And I'm looking for people interested in doing something different, efficient, faster, cheaper. The solution is not to try to get the whole company to reach native English-speaking competence in English. The solution for internal communications inside the company, I'm not talking about outside the company, that's different, But inside the company, the solution is to have a standard language across the company of Globish. Globish. So for many of you, you don't know this word yet. So Globish is a simpler, standardized, simpler form of English. I'm using it right now. I'm making choices as a native speaker to speak more slowly, to speak more clearly, and I am thinking very hard about which words I use while I speak with you. So that's me actively changing my own native English from New Zealand, Australia, America, England, where I've lived, and changing it to make it easier to understand. A little bit of work from me, a big change for the listener from many countries. So that's Globish. So Globish is 1,500 words, not 1 million. That's the full number of over 1 million, the full number of English words there are. And just 1,500 words, and with sister words, we could say it comes to about 5,000 words. So we have a word like work, worker, working. So that is one word under the 1,500, but with these related words, it comes up to about 5,000. Also, simpler grammar. That means fewer tenses, 12 or even 6 tenses. But most importantly, Globish is an attitude. And the attitude is, how can we communicate together so that more people can participate? Again, the value, how can I speak so that more people can understand? We all know about speakers in our first language or in English who use big words to show how intelligent they are. That's fine at the right time, but not if you want a big conversation within your company or your organization. That is not helpful for many people. Many people hear a word that they don't know and they feel ashamed and they stop participating in the conversation. So we want the opposite. We all know we need more people participating, the right people participating, and all of the right people participating fully. And this requires a change in attitude of the native speaker and of the elite non-native speaker. That means the very good non-native speaker of English. We need a change of attitude, a commitment, and a willingness to include more people. And for that, we need a new language. And that new language and new way mindset is Globish. So through training, all participants, all employees in your company, for example, can question the person who uses a word that is not part of Globish. They can say, what is this word? Or they can say, sorry, our company is a company that uses Globish internally because it helps more people to understand. Globish also includes the willingness to speak more slowly, to speak more clearly. This changes the communication to a very small degree, but it makes sure that everybody is included. So I'm looking for projects in this way anywhere in the world. We can start. We need to convince, of course, the decision maker at the top, and then with that commitment, this can roll out throughout a company and we can measure the results. We can see from participants, do they feel more included? Can they participate in important decisions more easily? Please contact me. my website, effectiveinenglish.com, and we can make this happen. Thank you for listening. My name is Mo Ridderford.